All right, welcome. Today we are digging into a really practical question, one that pops up constantly if you're thinking about backup power. It's one of those things where on the surface it seems simple, but then you run headfirst into a little thing called physics. So let's get right into it.
So here's the question we see all the time, right? Hey, can my 2,000-watt Sachet inverter power my 1 horsepower pump? I mean, you look at the box, you look at the pump, and you might think, yeah, the numbers kind of line up, why not?
And the answer, plain and simple, is no. A big, fat, definitive no. And trust me, sticking around for the next couple of minutes to understand the why is going to save you a whole lot of money, a burnt-out inverter, and just a massive headache.
Okay, so why are we so certain about this? Why the hard no? Well, it's not really about the number of watts you see printed on the sticker. It's all about the kind of inverter you're using and the kind of appliance you're trying to power. Let's break down the huge difference between the inverter you probably have and the one you actually need for a job like this.
So look at this. It's pretty clear when you put them side by side. On one side, you've got your Sachet inverter. The reason it's so light and cheap, it's transformerless. It's really only made for light-duty stuff, charging your phone, running some LED lights. But on the other side, you've got this beast, the transformer inverter. It's heavy for a reason. It has a big, heavy-duty transformer inside that's built for serious work. And most importantly, it's designed to handle those huge power spikes from certain machines.
And that brings us to this key term, inductive load. It sounds technical, but it's super simple. An inductive load is basically anything with a motor. Think about your water pump, yeah, but also your freezer, your fridge, your air conditioner. All these things have one thing in common. To get that motor started from a dead stop, they need a massive, short burst of power. It's like trying to push a stalled car. That first push is the hardest.
And that is the whole problem. That initial burst of power is called the starting current, and it can be like 3, 4, even 5 times more power than what the pump needs just to run normally. Your little Sachet inverter sees that sudden massive demand for power, and it just can't cope. Best case scenario is the little safety switch trips and it just shuts down. Worst case, poof, you've just fried the electronics inside. It's just not built to take that kind of punch.
And here's another thing, something that people in the industry know all too well. The wattage they print on the outside of these Sachet inverters, let's just say it's very optimistic. That 2,000-watt number on the sticker is probably not what it can handle continuously, or even for a short burst. This makes it even more of a gamble when you try to power something heavy-duty.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on what not to do, so let's flip this around and talk about the solution. How do you figure out what actually will work? It really just comes down to a tiny bit of simple math to figure out what you really need. Let's get into it.
So, let's ask a much better question. What if we use the right kind of inverter, a transformer-based one, say a 2.5 kVA model? Is that enough to handle our 1-horsepower pump? Now we're talking. Let's actually run the numbers and see.
Okay, let's walk through this together. It's pretty straightforward. First things first, 1 horsepower is roughly 750 watts. That's how much power the pump needs when it's just running along. Step 2, we got to account for that startup surge and other inefficiencies. A really good rule of thumb is to add about 40% on top. So that's another 300 watts. Add them together and you get a total need of 1,050 watts. So step 3, we look at our inverter. Now, a 2.5 kVA inverter isn't 2,500 watts of usable power. You have to multiply it by what's called a power factor, which is usually around 0.8. So that gives us a real-world output of 2,000 watts. And finally, the moment of truth. We need 1,050 watts and we have 2,000 watts available. Is that enough? Oh yeah, that gives us a fantastic safety margin.
Now, of course, the inverter isn't the only piece of the puzzle. You've got to think about other real-world things too, like how high up is your water tank? How deep is the well? Stuff like that makes the pump work harder. And, how many hours a day you're going to run it determines how big your battery bank needs to be. But when it comes to just powering the pump, that calculation we just did is the most important part.
All right, so now we know what works and we even know how to do the math. So let's wrap this up with the final expert advice in the most important things you need to walk away with.
And here's the real pro tip. Even though we just proved a 2.5 kVA inverter works, the expert advice is actually to go even bigger, maybe to a 3.5 kVA model. And you might ask why? Well, it's all about having that extra headroom. That extra power means your inverter isn't straining. It runs cooler, it'll last way longer, and hey, if you decide to add something else to the system later, you've got the power to do it. It is always better to have more inverter than you need than not enough.
So, if you only remember 4 things from this whole explainer, make it these. 1. Do not use a Sachet inverter to power a water pump. Just don't. 2.
The reason why is that pumps are inductive loads and that startup current is a killer. 3. The solution is to get a proper heavy-duty transformer inverter. And 4. The golden rule. Do the math to figure out what you need, and then add a nice big safety margin on top.
And really, that leaves us with one final thought. This whole thing, it's not just about inverters and pumps, is it? It's a perfect lesson in using the right tool for the job. It's about understanding what a task actually demands, instead of just trusting the label on the box. That's a principle that applies everywhere. So think about it. Where else could that simple rule save you from a complete disaster? Thanks for joining me.